Hello and welcome to Jackie's Proof Animals Have Souls and Psychics show, produced through Passionate World Talk Radio, a subsidiary of Global Media Network. Today I have Pauline Mary Oliver with me, and I'm glad to have her and share her experiences with listeners. So welcome, Pauline. Pauline can be contacted on pmoliver47@gmail.com. Now, Pauline was born in Liverpool, England, Liverpool of Beatles fame, and Pauline has relatives in the USA, including in New York State. Pauline worked in insurance and banking for over 30 years. But when a friend said to her she goes to a spiritualist church, Pauline asked, "Please take me." Pauline had lost her husband John around that time, and so began Pauline's journey into spiritualism, which to date is approximately 26 years. However, Pauline is a natural medium who's had experiences of spirit people and spirit animals since a child. And Pauline, we're lucky to say, is happy to share some of her lifetime of mediumistic experiences of spirit people and spirit animals with listeners. Now, just before this radio interview, Pauline was telling me that she's had an experience of an angel. So I would like to ask Pauline if she'd like to share that with you, of her experience with the angel, about the size of the angel and the colours involved and what it was made of, and was there anyone with the angel. So Pauline will give you some information about her experience of an angel.
Hello to everybody. Yes, I did see an angel, and it was quite a long time ago now, but I was just sitting in my lounge having a break, and it was a lovely sunny day, and a bright light came in through the window, white and yellow, really strong. And then I saw this angel. And my living room ceiling is about 8 foot high, and I didn't see the face because the light was blinding. I think the head must have gone through the ceiling, and the wings were like a creamy white feathers, and I didn't see the angel's feet. It was about 6 inches off the floor, just like a white robe. And there was a smaller figure of about 6 foot or less. It was just very misty with like a mop of dark hair. And I thought that might have been my husband when he was younger. Anyway, I felt the whole experience probably only lasted seconds. And when they disappeared, I shouted, "Come back," but they didn't. And it's quite a long time ago now, and they still haven't re-emerged. I would love to see them again.
Thank you. So the angel didn't reply, it just disappeared.
Disappeared,
If this was some years ago, then it obviously made a really big impact on you.
It did, yes.
For you to be remembering it in such detail today. And you said it had feathers.
Feathers,
and
absolutely.
Wings as well. And it was even bigger than your living room, and appeared with all that light. And you say it lasted for seconds. So do you now believe in angels?
Well, I do. They even get me car parking spaces. I ask them for everything.
How did you feel after your experience, just immediately after it?
I felt let down. They didn't stay longer,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Pauline was saying to me just before the interview that most nights around about 3 o'clock in the morning, her father wakes her and visits her. And her father passed to spirit some years ago. And also during the night, if she ever goes down the dark hallway in her home, because she can't always reach the switch for the light, when she's walking along in the darkness, she gets flashes of light so she doesn't fall over her grandchild's toys, because the hallway's got lots of children's toys there. And she said its spirit seemed to put these flashes of light out so that she doesn't have an accident. Pauline, would you like to tell me about your experience with your father in spirit?
Well, there's been numerous times when, I felt his presence. But the clearest one was 30 years ago when I was ill in bed. He just appeared right next to me, like you, really,
Yes. As real as you or I?
So real, yeah. And
what was he wearing?
He was wearing a grey outfit, a grey V-necked lamb's wool jumper and shirt and tie, which he always wore under it. And it was all grey except for his eyes around the edge of his eyelids. It was red.
That's interesting.
It is
Did that
interesting.
show
I've never
emotion, would
really
you say?
figured that out, really. But
would that be emotion, that he was happy to see you, do you think?
It could be. I just sort of, that's the only colour in it. And anyway, I didn't know whether it was, I'd just seen him, but whether I was dreaming, because as he was walking away, he was on my mother's stairs walking away.
So the image changed from him manifesting virtually as clear and as real as you or I in grey.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're saying he was on your mother's staircase.
That's right. And I said to him, "Don't leave me, come back." And he's I don't know if he said it with his own words or whether it was just impressed on my mind.
Yes.
Yeah. He said, "I can't take you with me this time."
Oh, that's nice.
And
yes.
He went. And after he went, I was thinking about it. He'd had heart trouble, and the doctor had said, "Don't wear heavy clothes, wear lightweight clothes."
Yes.
And we always bought him a lamb's wool jumper, because they don't last forever. Every Christmas he got one in different colours. Mm-hmm. And then I realised he's never had a grey one.
So he was wearing the grey one to show you he's got a grey one now.
So I just thought, I've seen a ghost or a spirit. Yeah.
So he woke you and he was as clear as day, but you've had many experiences, but that's the one where he was almost in a physical manifestation.
Could have been anyone.
Yeah.
That was alive today, that sort of...
You hear of that some mediums see them as clear as you and I.
Yeah.
Gordon Higginson used to tell me that, but we'll talk about that another time. It's interesting because my Nana, after she had passed to spirit, we found a little handwritten note that she'd written before she'd passed. And she was telling us, I asked them for a little bit more time. So she was obviously seeing spirits before she passed. They'd have been comforting her and having reunions with her, and she asked them for a little bit more time. Well, I lived in Scotland then, in Glasgow then, and I was driving down from Glasgow to see her, and my mum had moved from being local to her to the Manchester area, and my mum was driving to see her. So my Nana was obviously aware of that, and she'd asked them for more time. And the message I'd got from my granddad is, she's slipping away, you need to be quick. And I was on my way anyway, because Sween MacDonald, the Highland seer, seventh son of the seventh son, had told me, it's time to go and see your gran again. I said, I've only just got back. And he said, it's time to go and see your gran again. And that's what I was doing. So that was interesting.
It was.
So you also mentioned earlier about to me before the interview about your cousin who was terminally ill with cancer.
Yes. This was a younger cousin, and she was terminally ill during the lockdown, the first one. And one evening, I knew she was in a hospice, and one evening her mother and father appeared in my house, and they were my godparents as well.
Yes.
And I was very close to them when they were alive. And the two of them show themselves when they were pretty young and when I was young, and
so in their prime, really.
In their prime,
yes.
Yeah. And I'd forgotten what a handsome couple they were.
Mm-hmm.
He was so handsome, tall and black curly hair, and her mother was only up to his shoulder. And so pretty and slim, and
quite a petite lady.
Yeah,
and you saw them in spirit.
Yeah, and whilst I was delighted to see them, I thought, oh, they've come for Mary because she'll go tonight,
yes.
And but as it turned out, she went a few weeks later. So,
but they do say that spirit are out of space and out of time.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were around at that time.
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe they're having a dummy run to get it right.
Oh.
I don't know.
Or perhaps they'd been comforting her and perhaps Mary, your cousin, had been seeing them.
But I miss them all. I really do. They were a lovely family. And her brother died during the lockdowns with cancer as well.
Oh, that's a shame.
But, so that was... he was older than her, but that was... only a year apart, really.
That's sad.
Yeah, sad.
Do you think there's more people who see things such as spirit people and spirit animals than let on about it because they know that they'll be classed as
ridiculed?
Strange, ridiculed is probably the better word.
Yeah, I'm sure there are, and in fact, I've realised there are when you mention things to people and they say, oh, I saw my mother just before she died, and
yes,
and I knew she died,
beforehand.
This sort of thing, people do get warned of what's coming, I feel.
Yes. When did your spirit experiences of spirit begin?
Well, when I was about 6 or 7, I think. I'm not
right.
really
so
sure
really
of the age.
Child, yes.
But I used to see people in my room and I was terrified of them. But now I feel they might have been past relatives that
who you
I
just didn't know. Could well have been. And what did your parents say about it?
It was always a woman and 2 men, and they were dressed in like those long macks, gabardine macks, like that was the fashion at the time. And they never spoke to me, or I never thought I could ask them anything. And I was just terrified of them, thinking, what are they doing in my room? Mm-hmm. And I'd shout into my mum and dad in the next room, can I put the light on? And they'd say, no, get to sleep. And then I'd say, there's people in my room. They say, don't start that again. So it must have happened quite a bit.
Yes.
And I'd be under the blankets trying to hide them. And
that's interesting.
It's sort of, I wish I knew now who they were.
And you also were saying that you sometimes, you've had experiences of dogs and cats in spirit. And you mentioned Mott. Would you like to tell us about Mott?
Yes, I was in a Liverpool church, and the medium came to me and said, Mott, there's a dog called Mott here, and he just wants you to know that his leg is now better. So
it's an unusual name for a dog, and for a medium to pick that up and to give you that in the church.
They travelled a lot, so probably...
Yes.
And
they
picked the name.
Yes.
But
maybe a foreign name, do you think?
I think it may have been Swedish or something. They like that sort of holiday, And he's a beautiful dog, and I was always playing with him.
Okay. Have you ever had any experiences of spirit cats?
Yes, I have. The 2 cats that we lost with leukemia.
Yes.
They were shelter cats, and the vet said they must have had the disease before he injected them against leukemia. And they come back occasionally.
And how do they show themselves? As cats or as orbs, or how do you see them?
No, I saw 2 orbs, a white one and a yellow one, roll across the carpet towards the fire. And I just knew it was these two. And
thank you very much.
Oh, right, yes.
Sorry to cut you off there, but time has run out.
Yeah.
And perhaps we can have another chat again about your experiences. Yeah. And you mentioned recently seeing a spirit child and a spirit father in the Orthodox Church, but you felt you shouldn't tell anyone because they might not like to hear that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Pauline, and thank you, listeners, and we'll hopefully get Pauline back again. Thank you.